Hello, today we'll learn the very first step of factoring, which is also called as the common factoring. And we'll try to learn this with the help of certain examples. It's negative 8a plus 10a square. Now, in this expression, we first have to look into the greatest common factor. So if we think about these two numbers, 8 and 10, in these ones, the greatest common factor is a 2, and between the two variables, a and a square, they both have 1a common. So we can take 2a as the common factor, and inside the bracket, negative 8 divided by 2 gives us a negative 4. A we have already taken common, and 10 divided by 2 is a 5, so plus 5. And here we have two a's in multiplication, out of which we have taken one a, so we are left with an a. And this should be the final answer for the common factoring of this expression. We could do one more thing. Instead of taking 2a as common, we could also do negative 2a as the common factor. None of them are wrong. So if you take negative 2a common, in that case, negative 8 divided by negative 2 gives us a 4. The a we have already taken common, so no variable with it. And now 10 divided by this negative 2 gives us a negative 5. So here we'll have negative 5. And out of two a's, we've taken an a common, so we are left with 1a. So either you could write the final factoring answer for the expression as this, or you could put it down as this. Both of them are correct. Let us take another one. If we have been given 25m cube plus 5m. Now here again, we'll check out our numbers, which are 25 and 5. So our common factor is a 5, because 25 and 5, they both are divisible by a 5. This has 3 m's multiplied together. This has 1 m. So 1 m is common in both of them. So out of those, we are going to take 1 m common. So 5m is our greatest common factor out of this given binomial. So 25 divided by 5 gives us a 5. We had 3 m's over here. Out of the 3 m's, we have taken 1 m. So we are left with m squared. And now 5 divided by 5 gives us a 1. And this 1m we had already taken common. So we don't need to write any variable. And this is the factored form of this given expression. Let us take a question with 3 terms. So 32a square plus 8ab minus 80b square. Again, we have to find out the greatest common factor. So 32, 8 and 80, what is the greatest common factor of these three numbers? So I'll tell you a simple way to do it. So if you have to find the greatest common factor of the numbers and it is giving you a little bit of trouble, write those numbers down like this, and then think of a number which divides all three of them. So we can see, because all the numbers are even, so 2 would divide all three of them. Now 32 divided by 2 is a 16. 8 divided by 2 is a 4. And 80 divided by 2 is a 40. Can you think of another number which divides all the three? Yes, you can either think of a 4 or think of a 2. 2 is easy to go by because all these three are even numbers. So we'll again divide each one of them by a 2. So 16 divided by 2 is an 8. 4 divided by 2 is a 2. And 40 divided by 2 is a 20. Still, all the three numbers are divisible by 2. So we'll again write 2, and then 8 divided by 2 is a 4. 2 divided by 2 is a 1. And 20 divided by 2 is a 10. So you can see now all the three numbers are not divisible by a common factor. So our greatest common factor is the product of these three numbers, which means 2 times 2 times 2, which is equal to 8. So this is the easiest way to figure out the greatest common factor. Once we figured out the greatest common factor for the numbers, so we are going to write it down 8. And between a square, we're checking out the variables now. So a square means we have two a's, ab, which means we have an a and a b, and b square means we have two b's. So we can see that there is nothing common between these three variables, because this one has two a's, this one has two b's, and this one has an a and a b. So the three terms do not have any variable common. We cannot take the variable common, and now our 8 is only the greatest common factor. So 32 divided by 8 gives us a 4. Because we haven't taken the variable common, so the variable will come as such. 8 divided by 8 is a 1. If you want to write 1, you can write down. Otherwise, it's okay even if you don't write it. So let me put it down. Now, the variable will come as such. So AB, because again, the variable is not common. So, and for the third one, negative 80 divided by 8 is a negative 10. We'll still have to write the variable, and this is the factored form for the above expression. Let us take one more example to understand the process of common factoring in a little bit better way. So we've been given this as a question which we have to factor out. In this question, we have been given 4 terms. So this is the first term, the second term, the third term, and the fourth term. All the 4 terms, they have some coefficients with a variable. Some numbers are present over here. So let us do the same process what we've done before to figure out our greatest common factor. So the 4 numbers given are 90, 18, 36 and 27. So what is the factor, or what is the number which divides all of them? So the first number we can think of is a 3. Now 90 divided by 3 is a 30. 18 divided by 3 is a 6. 36 divided by 3 is a 12. And 27 divided by 3 is a 9. Now, out of these 4 numbers, yes, all the 4 are again divisible by a 3. So, 30 divided by 3 is a 10. 6 divided by 3 is a 2. 12 divided by 3 is a 4. And 9 divided by 3 is a 3. So, now there's no common factor which divides all these 4 numbers. So our greatest common factor in terms of like the numbers or the coefficients is 3 times 3, which is equal to 9. Now, to factor this out, our common factor in terms of numbers is 9. Now we're going to look at the variables. So this has y to the power 8. This has 9y's multiplied together, 7y's multiplied together, and 6y's multiplied together. So from all these 4 terms, we can take y raised to the power 6 common. This has 7z's this has 5 z's, this has 5 z's, and this again has 5 z's. So z raised to the power 5 is again common. This has an x, this has an x, this has an x, but the fourth term does not have an x. So we cannot take any variable in terms of like x common. So our greatest common factor is 9, y raised to the power 6, z raised to the power 5. And now we're going to see what are we left with in the bracket. So 90 divided by 9 is a 10. Out of the 8 y's being multiplied, I've taken 6 y's common, so I'm left with 2 y's. Out of the 7 z's, 5 z's are common, so left with 2 z's. And we haven't taken x common at all, so x will be there as such. Now for the second term, negative 18 divided by 9 gives us a negative 2. Out of 9 y's, 6 y's are common, so y raised to the power 3, z raised to the power 5, all of them have been taken common, so no z term, and we have to write an x term. For the third term, 36 divided by 9 is a 4. Out of 7 y's, 6 y's are common, so we are left with just 1 y. All the 5 z's are common, and x we have to write as such as nothing is common. And from the fourth term, negative 27 divided by 9 is a negative 3. Out of the 6 y's, all the 6 y's are common, no y term. Out of the 5 z's, all 5 z's are common, so no z term. And so this is our factored form for the above expression. I hope you understood the common factoring. See you in the next video. Bye-bye.